What's going on, you guys? It's your host of the most, the real Taylor Nicole, and I am back with another episode of Let's Talk Black History, where we talk about a person, place, or thing. In these segments, we breaking down Black history like we're breaking down some crackers, and I mean like the ones you can eat, not the y'all know what I meant. But listen, we're going to sit in here. We're going to talk about these segments. We're going to break down these people, places, and things like we need to. Now, some of the information I found using Google, and some of it I might have already known. But it is your job to make sure that you take the information I gave you and go dig in a little bit further, because you might find out something that I didn't know. But the point is, I want you guys to look in, look strong, be strong, and let's talk about Black history. Now, if you do like watching these week after week, and keep watching on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Threads. That's perfectly fine. It's free over there. And we all like free. But if you're the type of person that don't like getting cut off and you like seeing it in full, then you need to go to patreon.com movies with Tay. That's patreon.com/movies with Tay. Now, eventually the name will change, but I'll give you a heads up. So always click the link in my bio so you can always go to the right website. But without further ado, without further more, let's jump into another segment of Let's Talk Black History. So let's jump into what was the end result. So based on all the research that I had pulled, 1963 would have never happened if Mr. Rustin hadn't been the forefront for the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Him being the organizer of that, because he started this way back in 1939 is when he started the idea of this protest. And he didn't have a full idea of what it would be, but he spent years trying to figure out what needed to be done and how it needed to be done. So by the time 1937 rolled around, he was like, okay, I got an idea. By the time 1941 hit, he really was like, I got an idea. And 23 years later, 1963, that idea came to fruition. So because of his inability to be part of the march, Mr. Rustin spent time making sure he continued fighting for civil rights, labor, peace, and also even fought for the LGBTQIA plus community. He made sure he fought for those rights too, because that's the community he was a part of. So he made sure he fought for it. Mr. Rustin also continued to work with A. Philip Randolph, which he became the president of A. Philip Randolph's institution, where he sat there and he worked with integration for unions. He also was an advocate for economic justice for Black America. He held that position from about 1964 up until 1979. He spent 15 plus years in working with Mr. A. Philip Randolph after the march. So during that time, he also spent time educating the Black community on HIV and AIDS. More was leaning towards, AIDS at the time is what he was teaching, but he was teaching Black people about it, educating the Black community about what it was and how you contract it and what you can do to avoid it. He spent that time educating us. And then from about the 70s to the 80s, Mr. Rustin also worked in the Human Rights Department. He also worked in the election monitors room for the Freedom House. And then during that time, in 1971, he also published several books, but two of which was Down the Line and Strategies for Freedom, in which I want to get those books so I can read them and see what they're about. He spent his entire life fighting for people, whether it be people who were stray, part of the LGBTQIA plus community, or just all the way around genuine people who believed in the same good fight he did. He spent his entire life devoted to that. 57, 60 something years, if you want to call it what you want to call it, but 57 something years he spent fighting for his people. And I feel like had he, had he, you know, not stuck his neck out there, some things might have never gotten done. Some things might have never gotten done. So Mr. Bayard Rustin passed away August 24th, 1987 in New York, New York, due to appendicitis. I think that's how you say that word. I'll put it on the screen because I think that's how you say it. I might have said it wrong. But he did unfortunately pass away.